Well, yes, hello. I am James Ronan. Today it's the Wnr568. It's AEW All In. I am not alone. I have a pleasure to be joined by the entire Wnr team. Up first by my side for every WWE and AEW show, it is the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. How's it going, Jaxie?
Yes, good afternoon, good evening. We are here with Owen, and I'm excited. Another AEW one. We've been covering a lot of like New Japan and WWE, so ready to get into AEW.
Yeah, without doubt. Like you said, this is the AEW catch-up show that we are doing. And up next, our resident NXT expert and New Japan demigod. It is Monty. How's it going, man?
It's going great. I think, honestly, I just repeat the sentiment. It's cool to finally get a chance to talk about AEW. I mean, they've been doing some of their best work, and the exciting time of the year. A lot of big things going on. So it's going to be cool to cover all in. Right here in my neck of the woods. I'm nowhere near Dallas anymore, but I used to live around there, so it was
Well,
kind
that's
of cool to see AEW there this year. Even though I know they're going back across the pond next year, but yeah. Excited to talk about AEW.
Yeah, without doubt. And last but by no means least, once I was a young man, and all I thought I had to do was smile. Well, you are still a young girl, and you're born everything in style. So once you think you're in your well, 'cause you don't mean a single thing without the handbags and the glad rags that your poor old granddad had to sweat to buy you. Do, 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 do. It's Gina, everybody. How's it going? I shouted then. Apologise.
I'm just waiting for you to get a, record deal. I'm waiting for someone to hear these podcasts and reach out and you say, guys, it's happened. The agents have called me and they've signed me.
I've got levels. I've got levels. But Gina, today, will it be handbags or glad rags for you? See what I did there?
Yeah, I love it. No, but I also am excited to jump into some All In and AEW catch up. It was a great show, and I really look forward to this review.
Yeah, about that. Well, it is AEW catch up before All In, so let's get to it. And it was all about the 4 hour shows as AEW had two in a row. So we can do quick highlights. Kenny Omega survived a wild fatal four-way with Claudia Castagnoli, Brody King, and Mascara Dorado, managing to catch Dorado with a one-winged angel to win. Broadcast shifted to Collision as Kazuchika Okada arrived to face down the champ. The cleaner almost hit the Rainmaker with one-winged angel for Okada bailed from the ring. They did sign the contract for All In after an epic video detailing rivalry. We also got a new championship belt, and Okada, who has apparently left the Elite, has joined Don Callis. This led to internal bleeding and a stretcher for Kenny, who spewed blood. Then Adam Cole came out to start Collision. Kota Ibushi also returned to fight his Golden Lovers prize as he faced Okada at Dynamite 300. More of that in a minute. But Monty, I'll start with you because we're going to talk about Omega and Okada. First off, can it live up to the hype as we head to All In? And what were your thoughts on Ibushi's return as well?
No. I mean, depending on who you ask, maybe because I do think they're popular enough, and some people have went back and watched those matches, maybe. But much like AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, much like other great rivals in New Japan history, who faced each other at later stages in their career, and not that it always seemed to work out this way, but for the most part, they can't. It's hard to top what they did on the stage in New Japan with the format. It's just like my biggest takeaway from this whole entire feud was that it was just been very weird for me to watch uh, how American this entire build is for a guy like Okada and Kenny, because as much as people know about the matches and their rivalry, it wasn't really ever done like that where he's teaming up with Callis and we got to beat him into a pulp. It's just all types of stuff that is just very American television, that is the opposite of every time they've ever fought. Like, they always end up meeting because they were the best, usually in a tournament setting, or they're fighting over the most prized possession of New Japan, the World Championship and stuff like that, or the New Japan Cup. So it was moments where they always met up, but it was mostly all about the competition in the ring and how good of a match they were for each other and who was the face of the company. Would it be this foreigner or would it be Okada? But to watch it built this way, very, very weird for a lot of us. So yeah, no, I don't. I mean, we'll see when we talk about the match, but Yeah, man, it's gonna be a lot of people. Anybody who watched New Japan consistently during that time and know just how good, because they had like at least three matches that were damn near perfect in a row, and it's just like, how can you top that? So, no, I don't think they can live up to the hype. But when it comes to seeing Kota Ibushi, that's just awesome. I mean, the man last time I seen him had no business in the ring. Like his ankles were shattered, and he was still trying to wrestle in Noah, and it was just not embarrassing per se. It was just kind of sad to see him in that state. And when I talk about guys, we talk about like Naito, who's kind of in that same class as Ibushi and stuff like that. And looking at some of these guys who are slowing down, it was impressive in my opinion to see Ibushi seem to kind of shake back in his body, shake back in like what he's capable of doing. In a sense, too, is just it's really cool to see him back and just looking healthy from my perspective. I mean, as far as the match go, I thought him and Okada have done better, but at the end of the day, I thought it was really cool to just see them there, and the atmosphere was great. So I thought it was a real cool moment. But yeah, man, shout out to Ibushi for getting himself in shape like that, because, like I said, last time before that, about 2 years ago, he looked like his career might have needed to be over because he was just out there trying to wrestle, couldn't walk really. It was really sad to see him like that. So to watch him now is really cool when you think about how far he's come just in 2 years being off.
Yeah, without a doubt. We were on Tony Storm at Mercedes Monet's Mill. Storm took a kicking from Monet, but still beat Julia Hart. And speaking of Mercedes, AEW held a 2.5 hour Grand Slam in Arena Mexico with the stars of CMLL. I really like the presentation. Page cut a promo in Spanish. I mean, what a guy, but more of him in a minute. Monet not only beat Zeusis to win the CMLL World Women's title, she also became the first woman to compete at Arena Mexico, Madison Square Garden, Tokyo Dome, and Wembley Stadium, also holding winning titles in all four promotions. And Jaxie, we talk about Mercedes and everything but what an accomplishment that is. Not
Yeah.
just for a women's wrestler, just for a wrestler in general.
I know. It's a major feat to say that you've like performed in these arenas, but performed and won gold at every single one within a different promotions. Like that's a major accomplishment, regardless as to what sex you are. So big congrats to Mercedes, because I think it's really hard to get all these different promotions to actually place their trust in you as one of their champions, like representing you as one of their champions. And she's managed to somehow wrangle all different promotions from different countries as well, all on her side. That's how much a lot of
Mhm.
promotions believe in her. So it's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, without a doubt. As the CEO celebrated with over a number of championships, a film noir style film played for timeless Tony Storm. And right after the WrestleMania, Shirakawa appeared on the stage to strap Monet long enough for Storm to suplex and declare, "Let the games begin." I mean, Tony Storm is not some other motherfucker, as she said. Monet did get revenge for beating the shit out of Storm. We'll more of that story in a little bit. Moxley beat Mark Briscoe. Mark also lost to Okada. Adam Page. Will have each other's backs, but Swerve doesn't trust him. Ospreay faced Swerve in a spectacular 30-minute draw with the Bucks beat both down. Will took a shot for Swerve, which meant Page was alone. The Death Riders tied him up and beat him down. Ops did help Hangman, and Page said he will ride through death. And Gina, there's a couple of things there. Firstly, Adam Page and I've never seen a babyface with so much fire. I'm going to sound old now, since maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin, and also the story with Swerve and Ospreay being involved. It's good storytelling.
It really is. It really is great storytelling. Just seeing how his character began in AEW, flipped it up and changed in AEW to become like more of a heel, having this epic feud with Swerve to now kind of turning it back round. And it's not necessarily a very obvious like face turn as well, where you have all the heels beating on a big face and he comes out for the save sort of thing. He's kind of t- made the crowd make him face again just because of his story and his journey, and that's what makes this whole story for Hangman Adam Page just so epic.
Yeah. And I can totally relate to having a friend that kind of, wants you to be friendly with someone that you might not get on with, but there is no choice. Like I said, the Death Riders are kind of the main threat,
Definitely.
bigger issues, yeah. Um,
Definitely. I've had personal problems where I have a friend who's got another friend and I don't necessarily get along with that person, but I know she's tried to juggle us being friends in between. So I could definitely sympathize with the story
storyline that's happening here for Swerve, Osprey, and Hangman Page.
Yeah, without doubt. In Mexico, Death Riders, Young Bucks, and Beast Mortis plays the Op, Swerve, and Will Ospreay. It was a wild match, of course, filled with high energy. Young Bucks attacked Swerve from behind and sent him to get rolled up from John Moxley. Adam Page came out after the result and accidentally hit Matt Jackson with a buckshot. But I'm sure Mercedes Moné and the Beast Mortis dating had nothing to do with his inclusion in this main event, nor his match versus Adam Page the following week, Monty, because for people to say that is really low, you know? I just think there's no need for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes with the narrative of how much power some sections of the internet claim Mercedes supposedly have or whatever. I don't really think too much about it. I mean, it could have something to do with it, but at the same time, the good thing about Tony Khan, he is so random that can you really say that? He can be random like that sometimes. I'm just saying, he really can. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Beast more though, so it was cool. He did a good job, so why not? But if some people believe that's why, or if they think that they're convinced that that's why, I do believe that his job might be safe for a while. I can say that maybe, but other than that, no. I mean, if you hit it out the park, then I'm all for it. I don't really care about. A lot of people get so tied up in why stuff happened. Did you enjoy it or not? If you didn't enjoy it, then sure, you can complain all you want. Damn, Mercedes, I hate your boyfriend. But if not, yeah, man, just sit back and watch.
In other news, Tekla debuted and destroyed Queen Aminata. Tay Mello returned, and not many people cared. As for the tag titles and MJF, they've been fighting Luchadors and Mike Bailey with Kevin Knight. MJF has been wearing an MVP-inspired gear. In Mexico, MJF faced Mystico. That was a shit Sin Cara. This was the first time AEW fans had heard Mystico's come out to the Mi Muro by La Five Astaslan. The whole crowd sang along with the theme. Out of frustration, MJF kicked him between the legs, causing a DQ. Hurt Syndicate helped MJF unmask Mystico, and then loads of people sent him packing. But Jaxie, what was interesting about this is it got a great reaction. Of course, people sing along to Mystico's theme. But MJF, someone was so annoyed that someone tried to attack him at his hotel afterwards. As it shows you can still be a heel in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of a bit embarrassing to say that, still in this day and age, in 2025, people are still being that wound up by kayfabe that it leads them to actually do something incredibly stupid like that. But I also am really relieved to hear that no harm really came to MJF in that situation. But, people, we got to remember that these people are doing their job. Okay, let's not take it personal. Okay.
But again, it shows you how bloodthirsty the Mexican fans are. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean, if you go and watch that match though that MJF had, he kind of brutalized him, So what do you expect, especially within his home promotion? So what do you expect?
Yeah, elsewhere, Atlantis Jr., Bandido, Cole, Daniel Garcia, King, and Templaro defeat Henchero, Josh Alexander, Takeshi Cole, Fletcher, Lance Archer, Velado Jr., and Harwood. They hate Atlantis Jr. and his dad. Hologram won 4 million pesos, which I think is about 12 quid. And then we've got the roundup for the rest of the build. We've got the Battle of the Kyles. And there will be a casino battle royal for men's and women's. Statlander won the women's fatal four-way for number one slot, and Mark Briscoe won the men's. But Gina, isn't being number one bad in a battle royal? I don't care how you kind of say it. It's not good. Why? Why would you do it?
I mean, yeah, if I knew I was going to be taking part in a battle royale, I would want to be as close to the last number possible to come out. I don't understand why people itch to be number one. Maybe if they're gunning for that Iron Man, Iron Woman status of having the longest time sort of within the battle royale. But in terms of strategic wise, I personally would like to come out as the very last entrance, preferably, or at least, at the very end, towards the tail end, rather than the beginning, so that I'm not exhausted by the time the last person comes out. So it is really funny how it feels like people are itching to fight for the number one spot in a battle royale like this, or a gauntlet match like this, where you're going to be constantly hit on by every person in this place. So yeah, it's a bit confusing as to why they fought it out for the first and second spot.
I'm glad it wasn't me, you know. We got Dynamite 300. Mox and Page had a chat, which led to the Death Riders beating Hangman up. He recovered and got his Texas death match to show Mox he has what it takes. He hit a buckshot to Marina. I mean, this was awesome. Me and Shirakawa took on Mercedes Moné with Tony Storm watching on. Moné threw a drink at Luther and then knocked out Tony. MJF won a four-way to be a number 2 in Exceeded Battle Royal, featuring Bones, Brody, and AR Fox. And Briscoe keeps saying MJF has a small cock. It's good, isn't it? Bucks Takesh to beat Strong, O'Reilly, and Bandido. And then Swerve and Ospreay beat Draglisto and Beast Mortis. I'm sure this has nothing to do with, you know, the Mercedes Moné thing. And then Bucks v Will and Swerve will have stipulations. If Bucks lose, they lose the EVP title. If the faces fuck it, it's no EW title shot for a year. I mean, Jackson, what were your thoughts on those stipulations? And also, do you think this match is big enough for All In?
On what stipulation? Sorry.
The Will and Swerve versus the Bucks.
I mean, this definitely grew more intriguing with the stipulations on the line. You know, I mean, I felt like they were kind of itching towards like a tag match with these two, you know, especially the build up of it with Will taking the spiked boot to the face for Swerve. You know, there was going to be some eventual tag team match, but I must admit that things felt a bit more exciting with that possibility on the line. You know, the possibility and the thought of Swerve and Will being EVPs. Like, who wouldn't want that? Because right now they're like both at their highest. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting stipulation that I did not see coming.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then main event, Okada faced off with Bushi in a Wrestle Kingdom rematch. And Monty, we talked about this, but it must be weird for you, though, to, like I said, to see a Wrestle Kingdom rematch just on. I know it's Dynamite 300, but do you know what I mean? Rather than like a pay per view. You must be used to it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm getting used to it. I guess. I think that's what it is. You start as the year or whatever has went on, you start to kind of get used to it. Like that's what I'm saying. It's just like watching Okada in an American book storyline is still awkward to me because, like I said, he's known as a tournament wrestler and all that. And I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong because his personality and all the stuff he's been doing has been really good. But it's just like certain things that we know because we watch so much wrestling over here is just stuff that didn't happen in New Japan. Like even the whole segment after the match, whatever, with when you have that good match of the Bushi, and then now it's time. All right, bring in random guys, Archer. Oh, come in, beat him down so Kenny can predictably return or whatever for the first time in some weeks. Like we didn't need an injury angle or whatever for that. Like if Kenny and Okada had a big match coming up, they do warm up matches and then the match will happen. You know, so it was so you know, you watching them New Japan, you know how simplistic but at the same time brilliant the way they set things up is. So watching the convolutedness is always going to be weird to me. But him and Ibushi, again, like I said, did really well in the crowd. They did their best to try to make it feel like a big deal. Even though I do wonder that if you don't know much about Okada and Ibushi, how invested, like, were you in it? Even though I thought the wrestling was good enough to keep you there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I always wonder this. Like, if you don't know or if you're not hip to it based or you don't care about the information that the commentators are giving you, how much does this do for you? But like for me, I'm just like you said, it's a Wrestle Kingdom. I remember the actual Wrestle Kingdom match they're talking about, so I get it. So yeah, but you know, it is what it is. You get used to it.
Yeah. Collision 100. Kevin Knight beat Benjamin and Nick Wayne, the triple threat tag, which made the triple threat tag official for All In, I should say. Scorpio Sky returned to beat Max Caster. FDR had a fun match with the Outrunners. Fletcher beat Garcia to face Adam Cole at All In. I mean, who hasn't beaten Daniel Garcia? I mean, Gina, that's what he said. But I thought it was really weird that someone like Scorpio Sky just returned on Collision and kind of, you know, not being forgotten about, but it was just a bit odd, you know, former TNT champion and stuff like that as well.
For who? Sorry?
Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, no, it was just really randomly just put in there. Like there was no like kind of epic return for him. It was just like, yeah, Scorpio Sky's back, or he's been re-signed. I don't know if he kind of went off or has been re-signed or something, but still, it was just like yeah, here you go. And for me, I thought they made more of a bigger deal at like Ty Mello's return with her being introduced in a match that no one knew she was a part of than Scorpio Sky's return announcement. You know, it would have been nice to kind of see him his music pop out of nowhere and shock everyone. But no, it's just here you are. He's back.
Yeah, without a doubt. Right, we're nearly there with a catch up. Dynamite and Collision go home. Excalibur is right. Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné are two of the biggest stars in wrestling. They had their final face off. Tony called her a pussy face fraud. And Moné says she's made the devil her bitch. And Tony said, we're all going to die. I mean, eat shit, bitch. Very cheerful stuff, you know. Moné did get the wrong day. But I mean, Jaxie, we spoke about this with Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné. They had 6 weeks to fill. I think they did well building it up to a point of All In.
Yeah, I think they did. Week in, week out, it wasn't like you were kind of bored with the segments that you were getting from either woman. And I think that both of them like were featured in a way where each week the other one like kind of looked strong enough. So you were kind of like going into the beginning of each week building up to All In with that, oh, who's gonna win? Because so and so just did this, but so and so just did that, you know. So they did well to fill the space and also just to kind of build the enticement for the match itself, I think. So yeah, they did well.
Takeshi and Fletcher beat Bandito and Brody King. MJF and Mark Briscoe had a talk, small cocks and dead brother, you know. Horrible stuff. Brawl broke out between Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. But only to face the wrath of all-in challengers, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. We got the Patriarchy also arrived to beat down the Hurt Syndicate. Christian hit Lashley with a pair of concertos. The champions were both laid out. And Monty, I think this was the first time we actually seen the Hurt Syndicate taken out since their arrival, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see. It made me definitely consider the Patriarchy a little bit more. And, the way they, like you said, for the very first time, somebody finally kind of got an upper hand on them. So, but at the same time, since there was so many other teams in the fray, it's still like anything could happen. But it was a good way, like you say, to kind of, I ain't gonna say even the playing field, but at least make it feel like, okay, maybe Bobby and them will come in a little bit weaker, and that'll give one of these other teams a chance.
Yeah, without a doubt. We got 4-way for the number 2 spot in the women's casino gauntlet, and Megan Bain was simply too powerful for Queen Amanata, Tekla, and Tay Mello. Samoa Joe beat Wheeler Utah. After when Gabe Kidd arrived to attack Joe from behind, Powerhouse Hobbs and Shibata sent them running. In the main event, Death Riders and Young Bucks versus the Ops. Hangman Adam Page and Will Ospreay. And Page did look unstoppable when he was involved, but Moxley managed to get the win. Afterwards, the Death Riders choked out the Cowboy and Will Ospreay till Swerve Strickland arrived in a power shovel. I don't know if they called it that. Destroyed Matt and Nick Jackson's limousine. I mean, Gina, it was straight out of the Attitude Era, but I didn't mind it really. Swerve fucking around at the end, destroying that limo.
Yeah, that was so fun to watch. And like you said, it really gave me Attitude Era vibes. It was just really it just felt fitting for Swerve to do that to the Young Bucks. And I was super happy. I had the biggest grin on my face. It was just so nice to see them get some form of punishment in some way. They've been taking the piss for however long. They've been able to call the rules, call the shots everywhere they go. And here is their car, not safe from any of that. I loved it. I was like, yes, Swerve, do more. Set it on fire like Hangman Page did.
All right, calm down. We move on to Collision. The Paragon beat the Don Callis family. Mystico beat Beast Mortis. I'm sure that has nothing to do with Mercedes Moné, Beast Mortis being there. Swerve and Hangman had a face-to-face. And Jaxie, I never thought I'd say this, but I love saying on Collision, it was a Swerve and Hangman face-to-face. Swerve said maybe he has to let go of the past, and I truly think it would be down to him if Paige leaves as champion or not. I mean, Mox wasn't happy about it. Marina called Paige a pussy, but this whole thing they've built between Paige and Swerve, though, is just, it's special. I can't explain it. Like,
it's long-term storytelling at its finest. I feel like the face-off, it really felt like two alpha males in one room, kind of mutually having respect to have this conversation and keep themselves to themselves, but also just showing, neither of them have forgotten, So it was just one of those moments where everyone kind of held their breath, seeing just those two in a room and wondering whether or not shit's going to pop off or they're going to find some sort of understanding,
Yeah, without a doubt. We got Cage Wayne and FTR losing to Jet Setters. No, Jet Speed, not to be confused with a new group, Top Flight Sky and the Outrunners. We got Shibata versus Gabe Kidd, student versus teacher. Fortunately, the contest ended with really Yuta getting involved, give Kidd a chance to hit a low blow, followed by a pile driver for a win. But Monty, this is when we say teacher, this is true teacher and student because of obviously. Oh, you can explain it better than I can.
I mean, no, it's like you said. I mean, I think you pretty much got it. I mean, LA Dojo. It wouldn't. Gabe Kidd was trained personally by Shibata's son. So yeah, I mean, that it was. I don't know, man. This one, I'm not gonna say it's hard for me to talk about. This one just sucks because Shibata's history with a chunk of the New Japan. I mean, basically the whole War Dogs outside of Driller and Finley, pretty much like his and uh yeah, man, it just sucks. I mean, he got his. I guess even AEW now with Kevin Knight and some of the other guys who's kind of spread out. So it just kind of sucks to me because Shibata was training those guys in the dojo, and it's cool to see them continue their careers and spread it everywhere. But for AEW to get this match, look, for always gonna be frustrating to me what the relationship with Shibata and New Japan and how that turned out. But hey, it is what it is. I guess the same thing can be said for Ibushi for that matter. But this was cool though, really cool to see. It's nice. It's a nice element of something that even I, who watch New Japan all the time, may have forgot about. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it was really good. And again, Shibata can't wrestle, not allowed to wrestle more than 5 minutes in New Japan. That's basically
right
the reason why he's, in AEW giving us the matches that we should be having over there. Anyway, the week's main event was a big women's tag match that was advertised ahead of the show with Willow, Rosa, Amanata, and Shirakawa taking on Athena, Tekla, Bane, and Hart. The faces won. I mean, Gina, what were your thoughts on the build up to All In? Like we said, that was 6 weeks sped through quite quickly there. But I think because they gave it time, I didn't mind it. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the build up to All In was a great amount of time because of how big the match card is. For me, I think they did good in terms of sowing seeds for the matches to come, creating tension and storyline behind each of the match. It didn't feel like a typical match that we would normally say, oh, I don't think this deserved to be on the match card because there has been story built up pretty much for each of these matches. I'm not including the kickoff show ones. Okay, the kickoff show ones are clearly fan make for the fans, and just who can they get that's a hometown hero, or that's how I always see a kickoff show be. But with regards to the main match card, I felt like there was a lot of story put behind all of the matches on there to help build up to this event, and I think it really pays off with the matches that we're about to review.
Yeah, I think I think arguably it's been the best build up to All In. You think maybe after 3 years, Tony Khan's just getting used to it now. Do you know what I mean? This kind of WrestleMania level event, and actually, because you talk about the 3 main events compared to maybe like Adam Cole and MJF from the first one, you can see where the change is there, can't you? Exactly. Right, we get to Road to All In. That's fine. We get Road to All In with RJ and Renee. We get the countdown to All In, and then it's finally time. July 12th, All In Texas 0 Hour. Renee, RJ, Double J, and Paul White have their own ring. The main event is Last Man Standing, but just named Texas Death. The old rules were pinning someone and then going for the count of 10. This is just tap or count of 10, I suppose. And Renee and Mox in the car talking was definitely something that you should go and check out. They should be doing stuff like this all the time, getting Renee just talking to Mox and Mox being quite genuine. Jim Ross joined the panel. No, not the commentator, the mayor of Arlington, Texas. And we've got to sit down with Statlander. We find out Adam Cole has not been cleared and the TNT title is going to be a fatal 4-way now. Nigel on the panel. I can't believe it was a year ago he was in the ring wrestling, Josh Matthews was there. He was in Impact for ages. He got a quick word with Swerve and Will. And then we got some action an hour before the show started. I mean, to be fair, the setting looked great. We'll speak about that in a second. The first match of the pre-show was the 8-man tag that was booked apparently during Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. I didn't watch it. Dustin Rose, Sammy Guevara, Ross and Marshall Von Erich taking on Carly Bravo, Sean Dean, Shane Taylor, and Lee Moriarty. The faces won. Jaxie, I mean, I get your thoughts on the first match, but also, what were your thoughts on the setting? And was it a bit weird actually not being there because we have actually been to the last couple,
Yeah. I mean, it was weird to see it in the US because it's been based in the UK. This match was kind of unexpected, so I kind of figured the faces were going to win because, again, I think my sister previously brought this up. Like, usually, pre-shows are just filled with like sort of hometown heroes, just coming out to give the crowd a bit of a warm-up, make them feel good. So, of course, we were not really expecting Shane Taylor Productions to pick up the win here. It was okay. I don't watch Ring of Honor that much. I know about those Cowboy brothers, and I knew that they were like the trio's champion with Dustin, and that Dustin's tag champs with Sammy. But I must admit, this was just sort of background stuff for me. I was doing other stuff. I wasn't really invested.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just give it a score out of 5 because obviously predictions won't count.
3.
Fine. Monty and Adam, what's your score? And I should say as well, sorry, Monty, but I don't need to interrupt you. Ogogo did feel the iron claw.
2.5 for Texas.
No, wait. If Monty's going 2.5, I was trying to be nice, but if he's going that low,
no. I've gone 3.
I didn't really care for it.
Gina?
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5. Yeah, no, I've gone 3. I mean, the Iron Claw, come on, that's what we want. Predictions were non-applicable. And then we got Lance Archer, Cesaro, Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero taking on Hologram, Tomohiro Ishii, Kyle O'Reilly, and Big Boom AJ. And AJ went a little nuts when Beretta pushed his son, man, wouldn't you? And that anger helped him, and his team got the win. Monty, what were your thoughts on this?
2.5 for Texas. No, I'm just playing. I mean, it was Kyle O'Reilly made me laugh, and it's always great to see Ishii. Love me some Ishii. These are one of the moments where I'm like, you know what, AEW, can you just send him back to us if this is what he's doing? But, he had that stage of career. Well, screw it. Just go have fun, Ishii. It was cool. I didn't think it was anything wrong with it. I do think it is, to an extent, a waste of time. But apparently Big Boom, maybe he gives them way more attention than I ever noticed or see. Because, it got to be some reason why they keep trotting them out there other than him just liking it or whatever. I don't know. But if you didn't take it too seriously, it didn't make my eyes burn or nothing. So I'll give it 3 stars.
Give it 3. Gina?
Yeah, I wasn't really invested. I will admit I don't really remember much from the match. 2.5.
2.5. Jaxie?
I think I'm really cruel, right? Because I laughed when he took his kid out, when he just pushed him. I don't know why. That actually was one of the only things I do remember from the match.
Because it's something you do, Jax, isn't it?
Hey, I'm not condoning violence against children, okay? But let's just face it, Trent just pushed him a little bit. It's fine. He had a bit of extra padding. He went down fighting. He was okay. Yeah,
Screw
I was not
kids.
Yeah, screw fat kids.
Look, I didn't really care for the match, and to be honest, I kind of just feel sorry for the likes of Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero for kind of just becoming jobbers, and it was meant to be this epic heel turn with Trent, and what's it amounted to, so 2 3/4. Okay, I'll give it that.
I'll give it 3.5. This was better than I thought it was going to be. And like I said, it's funny, Rocky Romero getting pinned by Big Boom. Predictions for the WNR Prediction League. This is after Night of Champions. So we are not counting anything else. It's just after Night of Champions. We will catch up, don't worry. Bonus League at the moment. Monty on 16. I'm on 14. Jaxie 13. Gina 10. WWE League. Monty on 6. Jaxie on 5. Gina on 4. I'm on 2. In AEW, Monty's ahead on 3. Gina on 1. Jaxie and James yet to score on an AEW show. So it's very important for either of us today. We all went boom, so we're all on one. And up next was a rematch between the Outrunners and FTR. Stokely helped them get a dirty win. So FTR win on Collision, and me ruining my predictions just means the Outrunners are losers, just like I am. Gina?
James. I'm sorry for laughing, but when I saw that you went with the Outrunners, I kind of knew that you were going to lose that because FTR is still really like trying to push themselves in this heel front. And for me, if they took the L here, I think that would have damaged what they're trying to create as them as heels, especially for what transpires later on in the night. I feel like them getting an L here would have definitely made possible future storylines a little bit less realistic, something like that. But yeah, I will admit, do you know what? I am biased. I'm already going to admit I'm biased. I don't need anyone to at me about this. But I love FTR, not just because I met them, but I do love them. And seeing them beat the
Wow.
Outrunners up, I don't know why. I got a sense of enjoyment out of it. So I'm really pleased with the outcome of the match. And I am a bit of a heel fan, I'll admit. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought it was a good match. I'll give it 3 3/4.
3 3, cool. I mean, Jaxie, to be fair, Outrunners lost to FTR on Collision a couple of weeks ago. So I honestly thought this was going to be the moment. And Faces win on pre-shows. Come on.
I no, James. I have to agree with my sister on this one. When I saw you win Outrunners, I was like, you have high hope for them. You know, I don't know. I think that they had like a hype moment, and I don't think Tony went with it. As a result, sadly, they've kind of already become a little bit less relevant. And again, I agree with what my sister said. I think that FTR right now are still trying to solidify them being dickheads and heels, and looking to do anything just to gain the upper hand. So yeah, I don't know why you went Outrunners on this one. I'm gonna give this a 3.5.
Monty, you do. Because you went Outrunners as well. So at least it's not me.
Right. I mean, you just mentioned my logic. I watched that stupid ass match on Collision that they lost, and I was like, oh, okay, well, they should win this one, right? Because why would you book this 10 days apart with the same damn finish with Stokely getting involved just like he did 10 days before that? It was stupid, James. It's okay. They got it right. Mostly because they met him. That's really the only thing that you heard that shit earlier. Oh, I just so happened to meet him. Yeah. We get it. The fix was in. The Outrunners suck. That is what it is. I'm not salty. I'm not salty because logically, if I book something to go one way, I wouldn't book the exact same thing on my pre-show. That's just me.
No,
But hey,
it's true.
it's fine.
True. I
That-
also feel
complained
though
about
that
this before in the past as well.
I also do feel like my logical way of thinking, I don't know if I should be telling you this because this might be my secret tactic, but like on the pre-show, you had two matches that we knew about, not including the Shane Taylor one. And I'm thinking, okay, so one of them's going to be a face win, one of them's going to be a heel win. And after just having like the big boom win, you know.
Hey, James, remind me, how many AEW wins you got?
Hey, whoa. Hey, well, we don't
I'm just asking. She said this her tactic. She
Yeah.
said this her tactic. I don't want to know his advice. All right, no.
Wait, listen, right. Yeah, don't take my tactic, Monty. I was just trying to also give you my logical way of thinking going into this, okay?
Everything logical when you're right. So we're gonna move on.
All right, I didn't expect that to happen today. Right, so I'm going to get 3.95 predictions. Girls did go for FTR. And to be fair, I have met FTR as well, and I've still got this wrong. And I thought I was being so fucking smart with the Outrunners as well, but obviously not. So the girls were on 2, boys were on 1 as we start the main show, which was Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Shibata putting the Trios Championship on the line against Claudio, Willie Yuta, and Gabe Kidd. Joe got the win for his team by pinning Yuta. The losers attacked the winners with chairs afterwards, and Joe was taken out and put away on a stretcher. No serious injuries, just taking time off. I think I don't sound old here, but video games maybe or something streaming. Who knows? Jaxie, what were your thoughts on this opener?
The trios match.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I mean, I was wondering whether or not there was like a more to the storyline with the ending and Joe sort of kind of being carried off. I didn't really think that it was like a legit sort of made injury within the ring. But maybe just kind of giving him a bit of time off. I thought this was good for an opening match because I think that the Death Riders have enough hate behind them that the crowd already just wanted to see them get their asses kicked. And so this is one way to do it. And you've got, sort of Powerhouse Hobbs and Shibata, that they're and Joe, who are all favorites. So I did see this as quite a good opening match just to kind of get the crowd like kind of started. Wasn't expecting that outcome, but overall, intrigued to see where things go in terms of like the trios belts and the continuation of that, because right now, is now question whether or not they're going to keep holding the belts with Joe potentially off injured for a bit. So I mean, the match itself, I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, that's fine. Monty, I mean, again, Monty, it must be weird to see Gabe Kidd as well, just involved in
I
the
don't know why. I
opening.
didn't know why the hell he was there. To be honest. Be honest with you. His whole involvement, his little honorary Death Rider or whatever the hell he got going on. I have no clue. I got no explanation for his involvement with the Death Riders. But it was fine. The match itself I thought was decent. It's kind of funny, man. AEW used to try to come out with like a banger or like something insane to start off their shows, and I thought this was more of a traditional kickoff of a pay-per-view type of match, and I thought it still fit the show really well. I guess maybe they kind of knew we was in for a lot of wrestling, so I thought they did a good job of just not necessarily they didn't phone it in, but I do think they kept it simple. But it was still a good one. It was still a good fun little time. I thought everybody did well with what they were given, and I give it 3 3/4. I didn't think it was offensive or anything, but it went about how I expected it to go. But yeah, Gabe Kidd's involvement with the Death Riders this entire time has been weird to me.
Gina, what are your thoughts? Because Monty made a good point as well. I was maybe expecting like a card or a match. Do you know what I mean? Maybe one of the big matches to start the show. But as the night progressed, we kind of saw how it was formatted in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't expect this match to go first, but I also didn't mind that it went first. A little bit like Monty said, it kind of felt like your typical sort of tag match opener to even just a house show. But it was a good match, don't get me wrong, and I'm glad that the belts have changed. It does kind of bring into question because again, me and Jax have been talking a lot about the trios division on AEW. And before the sad announcement from Adam Cole, we kind of were saying how maybe him and Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly can potentially, get their Undisputed Era vibe back and, jump into that trios title storylines going forward after this. So obviously that's out the way, and it's like it would be great if they could bring more storylines and focus to the trios tags that's not involving what are they called, the opposition, the ops,
The ops,
and
yeah.
yeah, and the Death Riders, because it seems like those are the only trios that have kind of really been formidable opponents for these belts at the moment. So it would be nice to just like sort of, okay, this is the end of that storyline between these two trios teams now. We've put it on the ops. Let's get, new trios tags coming in, gunning for it. So for me, I took this ending as okay, great, but I'm hoping that we've ended that storyline between these two factions now. Obviously, with the injury with Joe, I didn't know if they would continue that on. So it still made me kind of question it and still be intrigued for the storylines coming out of it. So yeah, I still enjoyed the match because I like everybody that was involved, and I gave it a 3 1/4.
Pretty cool. I'm going to give it a 4. Nice way to start the show. Predictions, we went ops, so the girls were on 3, boys were on 2. And the men's casino battle royal was next. Mark Briscoe was number 1, MJF number 2. Ricochet came out as 3, Bandito was 4, Takeshita number 5, Mystico number 6, Josh Alexander, guess it, number 7, Anthony Bowens 8, Roderick Strong 9, Brody King was 10. Number 11 was the return of Rock Hard Juice Robinson, clean shaven. And I know the Bo Dallas comparisons were crazy. Gates of Agony and Arse Boys got involved. Kota Ibushi at 12. Beast Mortis was 13. Unlucky for some. I'm not saying he was in here because of Mercedes Moné. And the last man in was Max Caster. In the end, MJF got the win and earned a future title shot at the time and place of his choosing. Monty, what were your thoughts on this?
Hey man, I mean, this was cool. I really do. I didn't mind it. It started off kind of slow, but as it went on, of course, they definitely had their entertainment moment. I don't know, man. I'm not really. It wasn't really too many surprise entrants or even really like stories to really. I mean, but all the Brody King fans, I know they was hurt. I know anybody who wanted somebody fresh to take this on was hurt because I know it seemed obvious that Max was there, but like at the end of the day, I don't know. To me, at some point, you know, it'd be nice. I wasn't a fan of the execution of the way they did the finish, but it is what it is. I didn't think it was horrible either. I thought it did what it was supposed to do for like a middle of the show, or I guess still kind of early show, battle royal or whatever. So it did good. I thought I'd give it like. They probably get 3 3/4 from me too. I thought it did exactly what it was meant to do, but it wasn't really a lot of surprises if you go off the entrance. And then, like I said, the way everything was executed toward the end there was, it's cool, but I just thought it probably could have been done better.
Yeah. I mean, Gina, what were your thoughts? 'Cause for me, I just felt this went on far too long in the position it was in.
Yeah, 30 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agree with both of you guys. I enjoyed the match, but upon reflecting on it after sort of seeing it coming out the other side, I will admit it went a bit too long because it was kind of obvious who was going to get this win with the announcements of who we knew was going to be in this match. Um, for the people that we did know was going to be in this match, it felt to me like it was a no-brainer that it was going to go to MJF because I didn't feel like anybody else really was up there to be getting a future title shot aside from him. If there was going to be a surprise, returners come in and take it, great. But like the biggest surprise for me was Juice Robinson, and I cannot tell you, I could not take him serious. I felt like one of those babies who react to seeing their dads for the first time without a beard and they burst into tears. I don't know why I wanted to burst into tears. I just have to get used to seeing him without a beard and it'll be fine. But it was just so weird because I've never not seen him with one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very interesting. But I still didn't really think, okay, Juice has come back. He's going to get this win. I just still had it in the back of my mind. MJF has got this. Nobody else really has been put up that's up there on the same level as MJF in this match. So yeah, for me, it was kind of typical on who was going to get the win. That's what made the length of the match seem even more a bit ridiculous to me. But yeah, either way, I still enjoyed it whilst watching it at the time. And so for that reason, I will give it a 4.
Yeah, excellent. And Jaxie, like I said, I mean, the triple German spot was cool, but as Gina and Monty mentioned, there was no one really apart from MGF. I mean, did we really think Mystico was going to kind of do it?
No, exactly. And I always like these type of matches. And I think that, a lot of that reason is behind like sort of the mystery of who else is going to be involved. And as they've, already pointed out, there wasn't that many returns. I was excited by Juice because I genuinely thought for a hot sec, don't tell me the next contestant could be like Jay White or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that actually would have been a great entrance for a great return, and also a great thought to be like, oh shit, is someone else going to win this? Like, could Jay actually win this? Straight away. But again,
Yeah,
rightly so.
I would have had that thought though.
Yeah,
Exactly, sis.
but
Yeah, if Jay White had come out, he would have been someone who's up there on the same platform as MJF.
yeah, exactly. But again, I agree with Monty, and I wasn't a big fan of the way that like MJF won this, but this is also typical MJF to come out the winner like in a way like this. This kind of reminded me about how he continued to win the ring on his pinky finger. I don't remember
Yeah.
what it's called. So this is very typical MJF, and this was expected. And I think this is why there wasn't as much anticipation in this match, even though I was a huge fan at even the prospect of Tony hitting the go with Brody King, because as you rightly pointed out, everyone went wild when Brody King came out. I don't know why they haven't actually pushed go on him yet. But like they're doing a disservice there either way. 3 3/4 seems good for me for this match.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. 3 3/4 predictions. I'm going to be harsh on this. We all went max, apart from Monty, who said Ricochet first. And I'm going to, Monty, I know you might not like it, but them's the rules, mate. So it means the girls are on
No,
4.
that's just a typical loser move. It's okay.
No, that's fine. Girls are on 4, James are on 3, Monty is on 2. And due to Adam Cole's injuries, match with Fletcher was turned to a fatal 4-way with Daniel Garcia, Dustin Rhodes, and Sammy Guevara for the vacant TNT Championship. Cole came out with the belt and said he was some health issues that will keep him out of action for a while. Cole shed some tears and said he wasn't in the right headspace to talk about retirement, but he wanted to thank the best fans in the world. Roddy and KOR came out and hugged Cole as a crowd chanting for him. This was a very emotional moment to witness. Unfortunately, when I was watching live, I just missed. So, Jaxie, I was asking you, what's going on? You were like, I'm depressed, man. Like, this is horrible. And I was like, what the fuck has happened? And it was the Adam Cole speech, because, of course, you got quite a connection to him anyway. You haven't met him, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Adam Cole within wrestling, but then he also is quite well known within the gamer world. He's a Twitch streamer. He, shows a lot more of his actual self, away from the persona of Adam Cole within wrestling. So, I think there was a lot of emotion that I didn't expect. I did not expect this. I still don't know what's going on with him. All of my thoughts and my love are with Adam Cole and whatever he's going through. I don't think it's anyone's business, and no one should be pressuring him to release anything about his current health status, especially if he's unsure himself. But we're all just kind of like, wishing him the best. I was really thrown back by this. I do have more thoughts and opinions going into this match, but we'll wait for you to get there.
Well, right. So yeah, we're just going to take a second on Adam Cole, because Gina, again, it's like I said, it's a horrible moment for him, especially when it looked like he was building some momentum recently as well.
Yeah, definitely. He kind of just came back from injury, got put into the TNT title storyline, managed to get the win and get the title, which seemed like a big accomplishment since he had joined AEW and having such a bad luck start. It seemed like this was the uphill for him. So it's really devastating, really, really devastating to hear that his health is taking another plunge. And regardless as to what's going on with him, I do wish him a speedy recovery, or, just a happy, healthy life. I do wish that for him. I'm a bit like my sister as well. I'm very invested into his streaming, and he does keep it separate from his wrestling side, so he doesn't talk about wrestling on the stream. So that's why I kind of feel like I know him personally through that. And yeah, I found myself tearing up during this segment. It kind of really threw me off for the next match. So yeah, it was sad and bittersweet to hear.
And I think it did throw everybody off. But again, I appreciate Tony Khan giving Adam Cole that moment, because Monty, we spoke about Adam Cole, Undisputed Era and stuff like this going back. And let's not forget he did main event All In a couple of years ago, but it just hasn't clicked, has it? And this is just, no one wants to see this, not even like your WWE hardcore stands.
No, I mean nobody who calls himself a wrestling fan should root for stuff like this to happen. And I think my biggest takeaway is from it all is like it's kind of similar when R-Truth got fired. It was like his peers. When you see so many peers who in the company, not in the company. Pat McAfee, who's not even really in the business right now because he's burnt out, left a cool comment that kind of reminded me of that NXT feud that I thought was cool. Just so many people showing love to Adam Cole and talking about how this couldn't happen to a better person. So it's just really unfortunate, and they just hope he get better because the wrestling business we talk about it all the time. Like sometimes we come in here and we got to talk about stories talk about certain wrestlers and certain situations that are not too favorable. But when you got genuine good people in wrestling, and you can tell just by what a lot of people that worked with them or just know them a little bit what they say about them. It sucks like that stuff like this happens to people like that. But that's the nature of this business. It's really unfortunate. And hell, I've been watching Adam Cole for a long time. I've known him since he was 3-time world champion in Ring of Honor, the original run back in the Gap. So I've seen him do a lot of wrestling, put his body through a lot of hell just before he ever got to NXT, and then the NXT run, and then now, like you said, with the AEW, it's tough, man. I think that's one of the underrated things about a lot of those greats from that great indie period. I think Kevin Owens is another great example that you see. Not that their bodies are falling apart, but now they're both literally on the sideline wondering if they'll probably ever be able to do this again because everybody got a bump card. I've been watching enough wrestling to know everybody starts off their career with a set number amount of how many times they can get hit, do something, do certain spots. And at the end of the day, everybody's card run up, and we hate to see it. We hate that it worked out that way sometimes, and we all hope for the Bryan Danielsons and the Adam Copeland type of situations and all of that. But this business is not easy, and it's tough, and it's just really unfortunate. Like I said, that it's happened to somebody that's such a good person, and we know who love wrestling. And like you said, it's really unfortunate how so far his AEW run has just been like just kind of snake bitten in a sense when it comes to that, whether it was the ankle injury or the way certain things have played out for him. So it was really sucked. But like you said, it was really cool for him to kind of get that moment. You could tell it meant a lot to him. I saw Roddy Strong basically kind of looking like he was about to break down behind him. Like you can tell his friends really give a damn about him. So that's one thing about him that I hope that all those people who had those kind words to say can be his support system as he tries to get back and get himself together and decide what's next or rehab or whatever he got going on. But yeah, man, it's just one of those harsh realities. I've been watching wrestling long enough to kind of see this thing play out a lot of different ways. So you never know what happens. I wish him the best. Hopefully he'll be back, but at the end of the day, I think he's done. He's already left a massive impact, and it'll be interesting to see what else can be done, whether he comes back or not.
Yeah, without a doubt. Daniel Garcia shared a moment at the top of the ramp with Cole as he made his way to the ring, and it was going to be hard for anybody to follow that speech from Cole. And the crowd was audibly quiet because it's still processing everything Cole said. So the first few minutes of the match didn't get the kind of reactions it maybe should have. Rose ended up winning with a cradle to become the new TNT champion. He cried and celebrated with the crowd. It gave him a nice reaction in Texas. Gina, what were your thoughts on this in the end?
Um, it's hard to really give my thoughts truly on this because, again, with the announcement that Chugs made just before this match, it kind of, not ruined my mood, but it did bring me down a little bit. I have gone through something in life as well and received some health news, and I know that feeling of devastation and not knowing what's going to happen in the future. And so I think I kind of was reminded of that as well. So it really affected me. The match was great. One thing I didn't really get was why they would put the tag team of both Dustin and Sammy in there. I'm sorry to say Sammy, but maybe he could have been kept out of it and they put somebody else in that match as well. But I also understand that it was possibly a last minute thing as well. And they kind of went with what and who was available. But regardless, I'm happy for Dustin because it obviously meant a lot to him with especially his reaction at the end of the match too. But again, I was just still feeling really down like during that match. So I found it hard to kind of like, feel happy for him because I was kind of affected a little bit. So yeah, it was a tough one to really take in and try and enjoy that moment. And I'm really happy for him. And I look forward to seeing him have more matches with youngsters. That's what Dustin Rhodes is really great for, is putting other people over that maybe new to the scene or someone who's been on the scene but not really noticed. So I think he'll use his level as a title holder. I think he'll definitely utilize it and maximize it as much as he can.
Yeah, well, like I said, Yeah, I can't really add anything much to that. Nice moment for Dustin. Jaxie, I mean, being even in your hometown doesn't help Sammy Guevara. You know, how the mighty fall. Maybe he just kept carrying Chris Jericho's bags, eh?
Yeah, it was just, yeah, Sammy was kind of not one of the main for sort of focal points in terms of thinking they really put the belt on him in this point. I do agree. I don't really feel like they both needed to be in there. Again, we rightly talked about former TNT champion return of Scorpio Sky. You could have easily added him to the match. I'm sure he wasn't doing anything since Collision, you know. But you know, I don't know. I guess my investment wasn't as fully into this match, considering like the emotional sort of discussion we've just had about Adam Cole. So I don't think that I really cared for the outcome or the winner of this match, because it kind of felt depleting whoever was the winner after what was already said. So I'm happy for Dustin, but I also was like, you know, there's plenty other wrestlers that I would have probably given a shot, you know, actually given this like a fresh group and said, do you know what, because of this, let's give like a fresh young group the chance to show off what they can do. But again, that's my own personal thoughts. I'm just gonna go ahead and give this like 3 3/4 as well.
Yeah. Monty, that we talk about with this matchup. I mean, it might be worth for someone because we're doing predictions. I mean, we want Fletcher. If someone had thought maybe they would have given it to Dustin in his hometown, but I'm sure none of us did.
Hey man, I'm a genius. I'm not a fortune teller. Like, come on now. Like, I'm not stupid. You know, I mean, yeah, I figured that would happen, but like, I was still hoping it didn't happen. I don't necessarily agree with Dustin winning it. I don't give a damn how much he cried. But the only thing cool about that is that, you know, him and Cody got something in common in that company when it comes to the TNT title. That's about it. Other than that, yeah, man, this was just, you know, they were trying, you know, they just made y'all feel like shit, so they trying to pick Texas up. I get the logic now. The more I think about it, it was like, you know, but you know, everybody was in a shitty situation. Everybody in the match. Really didn't matter what they did. We just, like you said, everybody was just focused on what they just heard and why, why and this and that. So I really don't know what the hell they could have did to make anybody be invested in this spur of the moment type of deal. I do like some of you guys' inclusion of other people that could have got the opportunity. That makes sense to me. But other than that, I mean, I think they did what they thought was best at the time, which was let's try to get everybody as in a better mood the best way we think we can, which is giving one of the hometown boys and somebody like Dustin who's been doing this a long time. He got everybody respect. Let's just try to do something like that. And you know, I saw the internet didn't seem to care either. They were just like me when it came to Dustin crying. So yeah, man. I mean, this was. I mean, I don't want to be too hard on it, but I give it 3.5. I mean, they did the best they could with the circumstances, but you know, it was what it was. But I did say, like you mentioned, John, I did mention that this would be the time that they want to give a hometown hero that spot, because I was like, what do you have Dustin them in there for anyway, other than they from Texas? So I'm just like, maybe they'll do it, but that didn't mean I want. Hey, you know, it is what it is. I'm not a fortune teller.
Gina, what would you score this out of 5?
Oh, I'll give it a 3 3/4.
Yeah, I'll go 3 3/4 as well. Predictions, we went Fletcher, so it means the girl's still on 4. I'm on 3. Monty's on 2. And we've got Nicholas and Matthew Jackson's EVP roles were on the line when they took on Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, who also put their ability to challenge for the world title for 1 year on the line. Both teams had special entrances that took up some time. Will had an Assassin's Creed inspired one with lots of fireworks. Jojo Offerman sang Swerve's old entrance music. This was a nice touch. The Bucks had a ship. The age-old question, though, but can two great single stars be a great tag team? Well, once Ospreay and Strickland started working together, they were able to isolate Matt with some double team moves, but only for a short time. I mean, other than the referee basically letting them know the rules of the match, this match had everything you could want and more. This felt like All In properly started at this point. Ospreay hit Swerve with the hidden blade accidentally, but they're able to rally, hit their finishes at the same time to get the win and remove the Bucks as EVPs of AEW. Jaxie, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so first things first, going back to the entrances, I'm a streamer. I'm currently on Twitch streaming Assassin's Creed Shadows at the moment. So I freaked the fuck out the moment that Will Ospreay's entrance started with all the Assassin's Creed shit. So I lost my shit. There was a really nice touch with JoJo. I didn't realize that was Swerve's original music, interesting music. So now that makes more sense because I did find it a little bit random, you know?
Which was just singing a random song.
Well,
Just give her a song in
randomly
between.
that she was also on the promotion. I was kind of like wrong promotion, JoJo, sort of thing. But she did good. She sung it well. Either way, yeah, the Bucks on a boat. I was like, what the fuck is this? They're so stupid. This match went so hard. There were so many moments. There were so many counters. Like, honestly, Swerve and Will actually work so well together. This is one of those matches where you have to just go and watch it for yourself to really see just so many of the highlight moments that took place. I took that shit personal when Nicholas decided to boot Prince Nana in the face. Like, don't do that shit. Don't touch Prince Nana.
Because you've met him. That's
no, well, just he's a lovable character as well. It's not because I met him, but he's just a lovable character, you know. But anyway, this match is just insane. You guys need to go watch it. I mean, personally, for me, I gave this 5 stars. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, Monty, we knew this was going to be a long show when all this was nearly 45 minutes. But I do think, in a weird way, the entrance is kind of reset the crowd after, this Adam Cole thing. And like I said, this is kind of what AEW should be all about.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a lot of people who know wrestling history is probably gonna think I'm dissing AEW, but this is quintessential AEW, which is basically PWG in its prime, or Ring of Honor when they were in that, when they actually was hitting. Like, this is just man. I swear you can put the same match in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla back in the day, and the Bucks were there, and Swerve was there. So like it was that type of pace. It was like but I'm not saying that to take away from it. I'm just saying that that's exactly what this was, and it was just the energy was great. I didn't really care about none of the entries at this point. I'm calling Ospreay a freaking fraud. He don't play games, and the only reason why I say that is because the only game he knows is Assassin's Creed. Apparently, I don't. Give me another game. Give me at least one more game. Seriously, I'm just saying, do something else. Mario, give me something. Anyway,
just as Luigi,
right? Come on, man, give me something. Like, man, you only play that one game. That's the only game you play. I know it's been 35 Assassin's Creeds, but damn. Anyway, that's what I thought when I saw the entry. Anyway, but yeah, no, I thought like you said, the atmosphere. Like, I think the best point you made, James, was just how it kind of picked up the atmosphere. It made us. It kind of reminded anybody who was shaking or anything that no, we're back in. This is all in. And then the stakes were there. They did a great job of establishing stakes without championships, because a big minus to this match could always been like, oh, okay, well, what we doing all this for? But they had good reasons there. So I get everybody saying 5 stars and all of that, and I'm not saying it's not 5 stars. I understand why we're doing it, but to me, it was just a really fantastic match. I've seen the Bucks do this 1,000 times, so I will always mention I'm jaded as hell when it comes to the Young Bucks at this point in my life. But I thought Swerve and, like you said, Swerve and Ospreay did a really good job of playing it up, and I think that's what made the match special. Not so much as about the spots as much, but it's really just about how well they fought as a team. Because you know how I am, James. I hate this shit. I hate when two singles. I hate two singles people beating up a tag team, especially the so-called best tag team in your history.
Mm-hmm.
I despise it. We do this for a living all the time together, and just two guys who just so happen to be on the same page tonight can whoop us. I hate that shit. But they did a good job of actually doing a good job of actually fighting like a team and not letting it just be two guys who overpowered the tag team or whatever with their just individual greatness. So I give them points for that. I'm not gonna hate. I'll give it 5 stars, but I had to get all my little nitpicks away because everybody been telling me how perfect this was. I'm like, okay, perfect. Shut up. All right.
No,
Anyway,
but
go ahead.
no, but the thing is as well. Again, there was a sequence in this match with the Destroyer and the super kicks as well. And I remember being a Rev Pro 10 years ago and seeing the Bucks alongside Rich Swann and Ricochet kind of doing this spot.
Right.
And rather than being like, oh shit, but they've kind of perfected it. And this is what it kind of I don't know. I mean, Gene, I don't know what you thought about this,
Yeah.
but again, it just seemed that they've got this match down, and Swerve and Osprey are just huge stars. Like AEW is so lucky. We talk about Adam Page, but having Swerve and Osprey here, be able to deliver. You know, the argument is, was this match kind of big enough? And they went on this stage and completely delivered.
They did for sure. I mean, again, I think you all explained how well this match was put together. I think it definitely helps with all four of the wrestlers that was involved are all just extremely amazing at what they do. And they all were clearly very trusting in each other as well. It was just admirable to watch them do this. And, there was like a segment where they were all doing one hit after the other on each other. And it was just so amazing to watch. I had to like go back and watch that match just for that segment because it was just the timing of everything was just quite perfect for them all, and it's hard to pull that off sometimes,
Yeah.
you could slip, someone's timing could be off and it could throw the balance off in all of it. So just to pull even that off, it just shows you how extremely professional these guys are. And I just appreciated it. It really uplifted the atmosphere from what kind of did just happen on AEW and the sad news as well announced. So I do feel like you said, James, like this kind of felt like the start of All In, really, with how big this match went and how hard it went. I definitely agree. It's a 5-star match from me, and I would go back and watch this again.
Yeah, I mean 5 stars. Again, I did like I went back and did a rewatch, and this one, it was my eyes were still glued to kind of the action as well. It was good second time as it was first time. So yeah, 5 stars all round. Predictions, Will and Swerves. It means the girls are on 5. I'm on 4. Monty's on 3. We've got the Women's Casino Battle Royal. I just completely forgot about that. The Casino Battle Royal. Statlander was number 1. We got Megan Bain second, Willow was third, Tay Mello 4, Tekla 5, Julie Hart 6, 7 was Queen Amanata, 8 was Mina, 9 was the debuting Suri, which I probably got wrong, and 10 was Alex Windsor. But Athena was able to pull off the win and earn a shot at the AEW Women's title while still holding the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Monty, what were your thoughts on this?
Just glad Tony Khan remember she there, man. I mean, she sounds like she's gonna be actually on AEW going forward. So it's always hard to predict when Athena's involved because she's booked like one hand she's booked like one of the most dominant world champions. And on the other hand, leading up to this show, she was just in random tag team matches with the rest of the girls. So like it's always confusing to book to really watch what they're gonna do with Athena. But I'm very proud of her. The crowd was into it, so that was really cool. I think overall, I looked at it and was just like, everybody talk about Mercedes, and we got one of the biggest matches going on here. But like they are so talented in the women's division, and I think that was the really coolest part about it. It was great to see Sayuri here. She's awesome. I think she got injured, so I don't know if she's gonna be back. But yeah, I think she hurt her elbow. She's getting the elbow surgery, but yeah, man, I thought it was cool. I mean, I kind of got the same problem when it comes to this match that I have with the other one when it comes to the length because it's still like a 20-minute type, over 25-minute type of deal. But they gave the men 35, so I ain't gonna be mad at them letting the women go over 25 minutes. So it was cool. I didn't mind it. Athena was a great choice. I also thought they actually played off more of a story with like Amanata and Thekla, who seem to have even like eternal beef at this point. So I kind of like that. And like I said, they actually had a couple surprises. So in my opinion, this was better than the men. I give it 4 star overall. And Athena is a great choice. I think
Yeah.
you had great choices all through this, to be honest. And like I said, that just kind of just shows where we are in the women's division, where they have they have two or three girls at the top who are just awesome, and then you got like 9 or 10 women who could also be at the top of this division at any time. So, or either division at any time. So AEW have a good thing. I hope they realize it and don't waste all of these girls. It's a lot of talent in that ring.
Yeah, without doubt. Gina, I think Monty pretty much, nailed that. I mean, Athena is now full time, which is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, I didn't really think to go with Athena, but I'm also not displeased with her getting the win. I think like it was actually perfect that they gave her the win. So I'm not even mad at taking the L here. I didn't know who would have gotten the win because, like you guys just said, most of these women in here have really been working hard to solidify like a fan base and building their names up. I mean, shit, even if Queen Aminata won it, I would have kind of been happy because she's been on a roll lately, So again, I think the women did great in this gauntlet match. They kept me on my toes, and I didn't know who was going to get the win, to be honest. And I'm happy for Athena. So yeah, it was a great match, and I really enjoyed it. I'll give it a 4.5.
4.5. And Jaxie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4.25. Really enjoyed it. I think that I have to agree with a lot of the points that Monty said. I just want to say that this battle royal for me was felt more exciting than the men's one. And I feel like there were more sort of excitement behind a lot of the entrances. And I want to point out as well what Monty brought up. This rivalry that they're building between Thekla and Queen Aminata, I'm enjoying it, and I liked that they wrapped this up and told more of a story within this um uh battle royale, because when with the follow up of AEW, like we see some of the fallout of this, so there is more of a story being told throughout this battle royale.
Yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm going to give it a 4 as well. Predictions. Well, Monty went Willow. The rest went for Chris Statlander. So we got 0 points. So it means the girls still on 5. I'm on 4. Monty on 3. And then Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley put their AEW Tag Team Championship on the line against the team of Nick Wayne and Christian and Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. Lashley hit Christian with a huge spear to pick up the win and retain the titles, but that's not what the match was about. FTR had a face-off with the Patriarchy, but in a shocking betrayal, Wayne turned on Christian and hit him with a kill switch. He and Kip Sabian proceeded to beat him up while Mother Wayne just laughed. FTR joined him, but Adam Copeland's music hit and he came out with his spike. Cope took out Sabian and Wayne on his way to the ring for hitting both members of FTR with his spear. He put his weapon down, helped Christian to his feet, and told him to go find himself. Gina, what's your thoughts on this?
Um. Uh. Right. So
I mean, there were tag team title matches as well, so I mean, we can maybe.
yeah, no, I mean that was the match itself was great, but just getting straight to the ending, like I get why he came out for Christian, but I also kind of like, well, he don't deserve it. Let him. Like just let him. Like, even though he said at the end, find yourself. So clearly he's not here to be like, oh, my bestie, Christian, let's be friends again. He's like telling him, like, you got work to do on yourself, bro, because you got yourself into this situation. So I do get it, but I still kind of would have let him take the hit. So, I think it helps that obviously there was beef with FTR and Adam Copeland because they were the ones to take him out. So he more wanted to kind of come out and get his revenge upon them. But I'm so glad that Nick Wayne finally pulled the plug. I've been dying for this storyline to happen. It's been kind of like hinted for months now on whether Nick Wayne's going to keep being treated like Luchasaurus got treated, So it kind of like felt about time that this betrayal came about, and I'm not mad at the belts being retained, because I think more of the storyline was more going to be behind this with Christian and Nick Wayne and Adam Copeland. But yeah, it was still enjoyable. Um, Obviously, it's always nice to see Adam Cope come back. healthy. Don't know how long that'll be for, but we shall see. I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go. So, yeah, I'll give the match a 4.
Give it a 4. Yeah, I mean, Jaxie, this was a bit all over the place when it came to this. I mean, again, I can understand every match, or had a lot of time. I don't think every match needed 20 minutes, and I think this was still a 20-minute match, even without the kind of Cope thing afterwards. And as Gina said, it's good to see Cope back, but this was going to be the tag team titles. But maybe that's the future, Edge and Christian, or Cope and Cage.
Yeah, but I agree. I feel like the match itself kind of got overlooked from like everything from the betrayal and then onwards. But it just kind of felt a bit questionable as to why he came out kind of for the save, because I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I am wrong here, but didn't Christian do this to Cope? So why would Cope like come out and stop that?
This is what I tried to explain, because even if you and Gina were to have an argument, whatever it is, you still forgive each other, even if it was hitting each other with a concerto.
I suppose. I mean,
that's what I'm trying to.
I might be inclined to let her take one and then be like, okay, enough. You did that. No more beating on her. Okay.
I kind of inclined to say the same. I'd let her take the hit and then I'd come out.
Yeah, I probably would do the same. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, you did that to me, so I'll take one. But overall, I get what you're saying about storyline, and is there a future opening for sort of a Cope and Christian team up? So we'll never know, and that could be sort of the formidable duo that will be going towards the Hurt Business. It's a shame, because I do feel like there was a few sort of standout moments. I still feel like Jet Speed looked great. And they've been so far featured well. So I kind of was not mad at the fact that they weren't the ones to take the pin here. Overall, I'm going to give this match like a 3 3/4. I think that's fair.
Yeah, 3 3/4 is fair. Monty?
I'll give it 4 star.
And we'll move on. I'm going to go 3 3/4. Predictions, we all went for the Hurt Business. So the girls on 6, I'm on 5, Monty on 4. And at the 3-hour 45 mark, we hit the first of what was billed as 3 main events. So the first one was the one I was waiting for. Could this be the greatest women's match of all time? AEW Women's Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm. Moné had some cheerleaders to perform while she was driven onto stage in a classic car. Fireworks that interrupted Toni, and a train with all the names she had beaten. Storm narrated her own pre-entrance video. She came out with a cane for dropping it and taking off her jacket. And I mean, Jax, we're going to get into the match, but even with these entrances, we knew this was a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, this was proper presentation.
Exactly. And I think both women had great entrances that really represented like their personas. It looked really great. The train, whoever created that train with all the names on, that must have taken so long, but I have great appreciation for that. Just even that presentation in itself, like from the camera angle when they showed all of the names, it still like looked like an incredible feat that yet again Mercedes can like add to her belts, so it already gave off the vibes of being such a high caliber level match.
Yeah, I'll come back to you in a sec. We're going to get into the match. The crowd chant for both women as they locked up and made a clean break. Luther got wasted at ringside by Mercedes Moné, who took control and looked to be on top, but the Timeless One responded with 3 Storm Zeros that Moné somehow kicked out of. Both women came close to win on multiple occasions. I mean, my heart rate was through the roof, not just because of predictions, just because I didn't know who was going to actually win. Storm prevailed to retain her title after hitting a Storm Zero off the top rope. And Jaxie, I think that was the thing about this match. I didn't care who won. I was interested in the outcome because I weren't sure.
I mean, yeah. Halfway through this match, it stopped being about, oh, am I going to win or not? I was just glued to the TV. It was such a high caliber match. Like these two women delivered. This is yet again another match that I would suggest you go and watch, because these two women proved all of that talk, all of the build up before this match and everything after. They both proved as to why they're both at the top of the division, and this was really hard to call. Throughout the entire thing, there were so many near falls. There were so many times that I thought about either woman. How did you fucking kick out?
You know, like what
Yeah.
the hell? You know, so this match, you could tell both women wanted it, and it was a hard one really to call. I'm not mad at taking the loss here because I just think that even the ending actually was a really good one. It wasn't one that was a disappointing end way to end the match. You know, like the Storm Zero from the top, like really felt like, yeah, that's it now. Like both women were exhausted by the end of it. They both went hard, and yeah, this was great.
Yeah, no, I loved this as well. I mean, there was one point I was distracted with Tony's move to Monet. Monty, you know which one I'm talking about. But apart from those kind of shenanigans, this was just a really good wrestling match.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about, sir. But what I will say is that this, like you said, probably
Sure, sure.
one of the best matches. I said what I said. Uh, one of the best women's matches on American soil. It was awesome. I mean, two of the best doing what they do for 25 minutes. And I think they made history for that, for being like showcased that long in a pay-per-view setting. I don't know if two women have gotten that spotlight in front of that many people. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. I mean, the only thing I really didn't need probably was her kicking out three straight power drivers. I mean, think about how WWE depicts one power driver versus three or and then, and all of that, three in a row. But Osprey and them just said Canadian destroyers don't hurt in they match. So, you know,
I'll
I
get
can't
over
be.
it.
I'm not right. I'm not gonna be too hard on them about it. You know, it is what it is. She survived, and it wasn't like she didn't sell. She did. So, yeah, man, I thought they did a great job. And then, like, I mean, I don't think anybody can be too down about this because I mean, Mercedes haven't lost to anybody. So, losing here to somebody like Tony, who deserves uh
Mm.
the world for like what she's done as a character and all of that, and we know what she's capable of in the ring. I thought this was a really great showcase of just two of the women that's at the top. I don't wherever you want to rank them. I know some people say Mercedes is the greatest of all time or whatever they want to say already now. That's fine, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, unquestionably two of the best women in the world doing what they do best, and I really don't have anything to add other than that. I mean, it was 5 stars to me. I think the old man. I saw the internet mad because the old man didn't give it 5 stars. Just give it 5 stars to yourself. We know what we saw.
Mm.
It was
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, without doubt, and again, Gina, I don't know about you, but like I said, the longer the match went on, the more it's like, yeah, Tony actually needs to win this because, like I said, Mercedes is, all gold and a great unbeaten run, but Storm is number one. But I think what makes this more exciting as well is Athena is now waiting, so we already kind of know what's coming next as well.
Yeah, for sure. I can't say much more than what Monty and Jaxie have already said about this match. It was so great. It's 5 star from me as well. They both are some of the greatest female wrestlers in wrestling at the moment, and they both showcased why. I don't think it hurt Mercedes to take the loss here. I think she's done so well to build herself up on why she should be at the top gunning for the title because she's just won almost every other title that's available in this world. So again, it kind of made sense like she'd be up on this platform. And again, as you said, James, as the match went on, it really did feel like Tony needs to get this win. She needs to show that regardless as to the amount of belts Mercedes has, I'm the women's champion for a reason. My character has been built from scratch and it's grown its own fan base, and that's what she did. It was just so good, and it's another one of the matches on the match card that I would recommend people go and watch for themselves. It was
Yeah,
just great, and you will not be disappointed in it.
yeah. Jaxie, I assume you're giving this a 5 as well.
I thought I'd said it before, but yeah, 5.
Yeah, you might have done, but I don't listen sometimes. Predictions all went Monet. So the girls on 6, I'm on 5, Monty's on 4, and the real Jim Ross joined commentary for the last 2 matches. Keep fighting, Jim. It was winner take all in Texas when Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada fought to combine the Continental and International Championships into a new unified title. Omega's entrance included several singers with hooded robes on the stage and what looked like Brock Lesnar singing. I don't know. Ibushi and Callis were both at ringside. There was a big fight feel to the match, especially during the official introductions. I mean, to be fair, Jaxie, you were in my ear. You weren't in my ear, but it felt it. Just go, oh my God, Okada, just like that.
I'll have you know that I
He
was
was in my
highly
ear like
contained.
that.
No, I
No,
was highly
you were
contained.
not. No,
I
you were
actually
not. I
was.
was telling you to calm down.
Yeah, but I wasn't too loud though.
You were.
No, I was quite. I was quite. I don't think I was.
I
Well,
know who I
anyway.
believe.
Yeah, me too. The Rainmaker was the first one to take control, but he didn't have to wait for it long. They went back and forth a few times for Okada blocked a moonsault with his knees, began onslaught of offense focused on Omega's midsection. Looked like Omega was going to win with a one-winged angel, but Callis yanked the referee out of the ring and stomped him to stop the count. Aubrey Edwards took his place so the match could continue, and the Rainmaker secured the win and became the unified champion thanks to the Rainmaker. Monty, I mean, what were your thoughts on this? Because like you said, it's difficult to catch lightning again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm of two brains. Part of me, my initial reaction when I watched it when it happened was like, what a shit version of their classic match. Like, it just felt like a shittier version of something I've seen before. So I didn't want to actually just say it was bad because I thought that, just like I said, I think that come off as harsh, but it's just like I said, like you mentioned, John, it's just mostly like it's just like every other time in the past. You know, you get your expectations. You're thinking, like you said, they can catch lightning in a bottle once again, and like I said, they've had three of basically like just some of the best wrestling you can think of. They did it or something close to it three times. And then, so you do expect it. But I hate to say this, for all the people who love Kenny Omega, I want y'all to realize that Kenny is at the end. He's closer to the end of the tunnel than he is to where he was back in the cleaner days and back when he had those classic matches. I'm repeating this a lot these days, but it seems like it's been a lot of proof in the pudding for a lot of my golden era of those 5 or 6 years of New Japan. But that shit takes a toll on your body. And Kenny Omega is a perfect example of that. As you can see, what's kind of been happening with his AEW run. And hell, even Ospreay, who I don't know if we'll talk about it later, but Ospreay is dealing with injuries now. And we know how he wrestles. I talk about it all the time. How do you wrestle like that week to week, like on an American schedule? It is tough to do. And that's going to take a toll. And I'm not gonna blame and say that this match wasn't as good because Kenny is not the same. Because it's not just him. The finish that just don't happen in like setting it up like that, James. That don't just like I know. If this would have just been a straight up epic clash for the title if this was a New Japan style match. But again, sometimes you gotta watch a match for what it was and not think about it in the context of those other matches. And once I did that, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually they still have great chemistry. They still gave me like 4.5 quality type of stuff, but you are gonna look at it a little bit harsher if you're like me and you watch that original trilogy and you know just how good and just how much and like how much better they really can make a match go. But like you said, James, the question is now, right now in 2025, can they do what they did in 2018 or so or whatever? Like, you know what I mean? Probably not. And that's probably exactly the way it's supposed to be if you really think about it. So yeah, I think in this proper context, this is a really good match. Was it anywhere near as good as some of the stuff they did in the past? No.
But again, I'll compare it to maybe the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, like WrestleMania, because the Okada Omega matches you hear of, but I kind of watched the Michaels Undertaker, and then the rematch the following year kind of maybe didn't live up to 25, but the comparison would be the tag match they had at Saudi Arabia.
Right.
You know what I mean? The
right.
length of past. So again, I mean, Gina, by no means did these two disgrace each other. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like you said, Okada looked good and so did Kenny, even though, like Monty says, Kenny's maybe not got a lot left in the tank.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed this match, but as Monty said, because we started to get into New Japan, the Omega and Okada feud was one of the first things that Monty kind of pointed us towards. So I have seen some of their classic matches. And would I put these two on the same level? No. But I still enjoyed this match all in all. I still thought it was really good, and they both did the best that they could, I was shocked with the ending because I did think that Kenny is possibly coming to the end. I thought they might make him, the inaugural winner of these two belts, and then he possibly goes out after this. So I kind of had that thought going into this match that he'll be going off shortly after becoming this inaugural champ. But I'm not mad at them making Okada that champ, if it means putting the belts on Kenny actually means he would have to wrestle more, which wouldn't help him. So I'm not mad at it. It was a great match. I enjoyed it. So yeah, for me, I think I gave it a 4.25.
You want to call it? Yeah, I mean, again, like we said, we're not die-hard Okada fans. I mean, if you were a die-hard Okada fan, you'll definitely go for him to win this matchup, wouldn't you, Jaxie?
Yeah, I'm being severely punished for my decision to play it safe on this one and go with fan favorite Kenny to win here, but I am not mad at this decision. I think my bias definitely did mean that I enjoyed this match regardless as to the outcome and the loss on my prediction here. But again, I do have to admit, I'm not bad mouthing this match at all, but after having seen what they did in New Japan and seen some of their other matches, I don't think this is one of their best. That being said, I did not see this outcome happening. And I think for that reason alone, I'm giving it a 4.5 because I really did still enjoy this. And I really loved that they went with Okada for this win, for this ultimate win. So I'm giving it a 4.5 from the fact that I did not expect this outcome. I thought they would go with kind of like the fail-safe plan of Kenny here.
Yeah, it just shows you that Okada is definitely in their plan in the future. I like this. I get 4.75 because, like you said, to try and recreate magic is difficult, and I think they did a really good job. Predictions all went Omega, so it means the girls on 6, I'm on 5, Monty on 4, as we head to the final contest of the night, which was Texas Death Match for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship between Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. And Hangman's entrance included his old theme song and a couple of musicians playing them on the stage. Gene, I'm not crying, you're crying. All right, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't get me emotional.
Yeah, no, I got you there. I was definitely not tearing up.
No, what are you talking about? Shut up. Marina Shafir was at ringside for a support as a bit of rival started the match by trading punches. Hangman had Mox down in the corner and stomped a mud hole in him as the crowd went wild. Page drew the first blood by repeatedly stabbing Moxley in the head with a fork. I mean, I don't know if I've seen anything as brutal as that, because there is no way you can call it kind of fake. The wound opened up as we saw it was quite, something quite else. But the match did live up to its name.
Yeah, they after this match happened, they shared like a slow down graphic of him doing that. Don't go see it. It's not. That was completely unnecessary. They didn't need to slow it down.
Oh, my word. Well, the match lived up to the name, and then some. We saw them use everything you could think of, including broken glass and, like I said, the previously mentioned fork. As expected, the rest of the Death Riders showed up to give Moxley an unfair advantage, but that didn't stop Hangman from fighting back. Ospreay tried to give Page some assistance, but he ended up being taken out. Darby Allin appeared on one of the big screens and gave Mox a warning. For Bryan Danielson showed up in a mask and took out Yuta with a psycho knee. He got rid of Kid and Claudio too. Darby descended from the ceiling on a rope and had a face-off with Mox. Page used the opportunity to hit a pair of buckshot lariats, followed by a dead eye through a table at ringside. Moxley recovered, hit a stomp and a paragraph shift on a bed of nails. And then Prince Nana handcuffed Shafir to the timekeeper's table because Moxley wanted to get the belt and feel it on Page's skin. But Swerve showed up with a chain to take out the Young Bucks. He gave the chain to Hangman to use against Moxley. And did he ever use it as he hung the champion over the top rope until he tapped out? Page began crying as he removed the title from the briefcase and displayed it to the crowd for the first time since Moxley had won it at Wrestle Dream. And this was the first time a pay-per-view sent home crowd home happy, and me as well. What a fucking phenomenal matchup. We're going to get everybody's thoughts on it, obviously. Gina, I mean, what were your thoughts on this?
I mean, this match was just awesome. I can't really say enough about it just without just saying go and watch it yourselves. This match was so hard hitting from start to finish. I couldn't really look at the fork section. And I was squeamish when he brought out that bed of nails. It just never looks great, you know. I knew that to expect blood in this match, like I do with every Mox match. But Jesus, these two were trying to kill each other. It was attempted murder in our eyes, but still, it was so good. I was so happy with all of the appearances that turned up. I was even really excited when Swerve turned up because again, you remember these guys' deep hatred for each other and the feud that they built up, and it was done perfectly in my eyes. If he had come out acting like he was Hangman's best friend, sort of thing, it would have felt forced or fake. I think the way that they executed it was really well done to be like more seen as a show of respect. I'm gonna come out and take these two out and then hand you the chain. You can finish your guy off, you
Mm.
know, like I just loved the whole aspect that they did it. I was super excited to see the return of both Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson. I wasn't expecting either of them to turn up. Maybe Darby, it would have been like a choice if we had done some predictions for someone turning up for the men's gauntlet. Maybe I would have gone Darby, but certainly not Bryan Danielson. That is such a great surprise for us to have. So all in all, for me, this is a 5-star match again, and the crowd definitely went home happy. Everyone was celebrating from that
Yeah.
win. I'm so happy for Hangman Page.
Well, again, when you think in there, fans been there nearly 8 hours, when 0 hour, 7 hours, and yet no one left their seats when Page,
Yeah,
took that
those
title.
last three matches were
Yeah,
worth the staying of the 8 hours.
yeah, everybody was invested. Jaxie, I think the closest I've come to this moment of what I saw at All In. I don't know if you agree with me or not. Is Cody at WrestleMania 40. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this felt like the moment.
Yeah, this again, I agree with all of these comments, but just as you've rightly pointed out, this felt like a 2-year storyline finally having its payoff, um much like in a way of like that feeling that you got when if anyone's like a Marvel fan and watched like Endgame or whatever, and then like you finally hear Falcon say to Cap on your left. Like it's one of
Mm,
those moments that really just like it was well deserved. It was something that like it was a redemption arc for Hangman, and to come full circle all these years later, and finally make that achievement. Like this was epic storytelling at its finest. So again, for me, I think this is 5-star. This was brilliant.
yeah. No, it really was. I mean, I've got a couple of things, and Monty, again, we can talk about with you. I mean, the pop for Swerve was one of the loudest pops of the night, and that meme from it with his arms folded is fucking brilliant. Unfortunately for me, I had watched Despi versus Jun Kasai, which was so hardcore they agreed to a rematch in 10 years' time. But this was AEW at stake in this matchup. And Monty, I don't know about you, I'm not a huge fan of Darby coming from the ceiling. I mean, Sting, yes, but we just had the Owen Hart Cup, for fuck's sake. Maybe Martha doesn't watch Other Double or Nothing. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
You know what? That's an interesting thought. I never really thought about what Martha might think about that spot after all these years or whatever. You would hope. I'm not that they need her blessing, but it would it'd be tasteful, I guess, in a sense. But I think you basically took what I was thinking anyway, James. Like to me, the more I thought about the match, it just felt like a sicko version, which is perfect for them because they claim AEW for the sickos. It just felt like a sicko version of what happened for Cody. I mean, Cody's finish with a lot of the interference and stuff like that, and the way that played off, it was very sports entertainment ish. And like I said at the time, I thought that was a perfect WWE way to do a WrestleMania main event. And I think this is a very because it give you all the crap that makes some people squeamish and some people hate. And then but it also was some great wrestling. And then it also gave you like a storybook type of ending deal with the interferences and even seeing Brian back, who says WWE still tells him not to do the yes chant. First thing he does when he gets in the ring is incite the yes chant
Yeah.
because I love Brian and he's awesome, and of course he does that. But yeah, it was great to see him because I think some people may not remember this, but who started this whole Death Rider thing? It started when Moxley put Brian, took the belt off Brian. It started there, and that's why I thought it was poetic, and also they did a great job of being nice and dramatic with finally once Hangman did it with him taking the belt out of the briefcase. We haven't people may not even thought about that. We haven't seen that belt in months.
But
It
did you
still
think he
had
couldn't open it though? For 1 second, 1 second.
at
I'm like,
first,
you can't
yeah,
open it. Yeah.
it seemed like he couldn't get it. But I love the fact that Bryan Danielson's plates were still on it. Like Moxley hadn't even changed the plates to heel, and also people and a lot of AEW fans was like, hold up now, like y'all say we don't tell stories. What Moxley claimed the reason why he was doing this was to wake AEW up. And we can admit whether you like AEW or not, the last however many 4 or 5 months have been some of the best AEW television. And Moxley, I guess, can take credit, but all right, at the same time, like at the same time, it was a lot of mess too. And Tony admitted that. I think that's what I liked the most about it was like hearing Tony talk after or whatever. I think it was either after or heading into this, and just talking about how his booking, his approach to booking has changed. He's starting to zone everything out instead of just taking suggestions from everybody. He's starting to do what he thinks the best thing would be. Like Hangman winning this match wasn't really the original outcome in his mind. So Hangman was supposed to lose this match. But you guys have been so mad every time Moxley walked out of there. And Hangman is such a great person to complete this story with. You guys kind of forced his hand. And guess what else? Guess who else that reminded me of? Cody Rhodes, because Cody was not supposed to win that night. It's supposed to be Rock and Roman. So again, it's very, very poetic, and sometimes it's funny how wrestling goes that way. And sometimes that's the beauty of the business that we all love. But yeah, I understand 5 stars. It had the squeamish moments, but once they said Texas Death, and then we had Moxley in it, I knew you could expect what it. I knew you could expect.
Yeah, the clue is death. I would say.
Yeah. Right. Also the hanging ending and all of that. Not only with the playoff on Hangman's name, but that's literally like the same finish that he had in a match against Moxley early in his AEW run. So they did a lot. They paid attention to detail for this, and you got to give them props for that, for not only executing the finish and executing the match properly, but they also had a lot of great storytelling beats in it. So in my opinion, if you hate AEW, I don't see how you can even hate this match because they gave you everything people claim that AEW is incapable of doing.
Yeah, right. And again, even like you said, the finish, I was surprised it weren't going to end in a pinfall, but the way it happened with Moxley kind of thrashing about as well and then tapping, Page was.
Yeah, he sold that perfectly too.
Yeah,
he really looked like he was panicking for a second there, which is really cool.
So predictions, sorry, it's 5 for me as well. Predictions all went Page. So final scores when it comes to predictions: Monty on 5, I'm on 6. So the win, Jaxie and Gina. So congratulations, Jaxie, you win All In. You're on fire.
Yes, I won one. Yes, finally, I'm so happy.
And Gina, again, congratulations. G-Site came back for All In.
Yeah, I honestly am really happy, but I also am still slightly disappointed because I still took a few L's here, and I really, really would love a clean sweep once. But I'll take it.
Take it. I mean, the AEW League at the moment, it means I haven't scored one yet, and we're going to go to August, the end of August, until I find out if I can or not. Jaxie has got 1. Gina on 2, only 1 behind Monty. And you have to wonder, is the overconfidence going to cost him? We'll find out. Right, so over.
Hey man, long as you lose, brother. Long as you lose.
I tell you what, I don't think we've had a card that has had so many 5-star matches. I mean, I have to have a look, but I can't think one from the top of my head. We've been doing this for fuck knows now, over 5 years. So it's going to be quite difficult. So overall, then, Jaxie, I'll start with you. Match of the night, an MVP.
Okay, so yeah, it is. I'm gonna go match of the night. for me probably is going to be Swerve and Will Ospreay. MVP, I'm gonna have to give it to Hangman for everything. But I do want to actually give a special MVP shout out to Athena because I am very excited. She's now full time. I'm excited to see what she's really gonna do after picking up the win here. Something I wasn't expecting. So I want to give a shout out with that too.
Yeah, well, actually, my MVP is Athena, and my match is the main event. And like I said, so difficult to choose. Gina?
Yeah, this really is difficult to choose. I think I'm also gonna go with the main event for my match of the night. I think I might give my MVP to Tony Storm for retaining and proving that she can be the one to make Mercedes lose a match because Mercedes was on one hell of a winning streak. So I think I'll give it to Tony for that.
Yeah, excellent. And Monty?
Tony Storm is definitely my MVP. Because I bet against her just from the thought process of I don't know what else she can do as champion. She's led this division well. What else does she need to do? But to me, I guess she kind of showed me that yeah, I just showed that I'm in the running for one of the greatest of all time, and that's what I'll do. And she deserves it. And match of the night, I'll just go main event. Just for, Hangman's my favorite AEW wrestler. Really the only reason why I started watching week to week again. I'm gonna be honest, I had stopped. So yeah, thank you, Hangman.
That doesn't annoy me at all. So
Hey man, hey,
I've
I'm the
been
only one who can review this off Cliff Notes, not you.
I've been bleeding Collision and Dynamite for no reason. Anyway, Jaxie, what's your score out of 10? This is going to be tough as well.
This is tough because I actually think that this has got to be this might actually be the strongest match or pay-per-view event of the year so far for AEW. So to be honest, I'm actually going to give this a 8 3/4.
8 3/4. Gina?
I'm not including 0 hour in this, but I'm actually gonna give it 8.3 8.45 8 3/4. Sorry. Can't get my words out.
No, we got there in the end. We got there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's probably one of my favorite pay-per-views for AEW this year. And those last three matches were definitely 5-star worthy matches. So awesome show.
Without a doubt. Monty?
Any show that make me have to sit and watch for 8.5 hours can really fuck off. I don't care how good you are, to be honest. I give you 9, but I'm deducting anything I'm deducting away from it got a lot to do with how long it was.
Yeah. Do you know what's crazy? Yeah, my rating's 9.5, but 6 hours long, not including 0 hour. So this would have been an easy 10 if they'd have cut out at least, like I said, that first half of of All In even
Yeah.
probably wasn't needed on the pay per
No,
view. But
I mean this is the only reason why I rated it at
mm,
8 3/4 because of the time.
Yeah.
If they'd have shedded the time, then I think this would have actually been rated higher for me.
I
Start
think so.
with the
Yeah.
swerve match, and then
Yes.
you got a perfect show, bro.
Yeah. Right. Credit to AEW, though. I tell you what, it looked more than 25K in the stadium as well. So they really have worked on their setup. It looked like a big time occasion. And then finally, Dynamite. We're going to do quick notes here. Our new AEW champion started the show in the same jacket that he celebrated his first title win with. He thanked the fans and wrestlers who sacrificed themselves, finishing with Swerve. And he was also in the main event, which was Hangman, Hobbs, and Briscoe defeating Claudio, Mox, and Yuta. The big moment of the segment was after the match with Darby appealing the rafters, echoing his mental sting. I mean, Gina, did this do anything for you? I mean, first off, it's great to see Hangman start the show and be in the main event, but Moxley was scared of Darby, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely looks more and more defeated this time around. I don't think I've seen Moxley look like this in a long, long time, you know? And he did look at Darby like he's seen the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah. Right, down elsewhere, Bucks haven't got Pyro anymore. Late team Henchester and Alexander defeating Bandido King and Jet Speed by TKO. Jaxie, do you think the Bucks can get over against faces by kind of people feeling sorry for them in a weird way? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think this is maybe where they're going to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it could even get to a point where, there's more beloved, like, hatred for another tag team that just really end up pissing the Young Bucks off, and that will just spur that face turn. It's going to be one of those moments where I feel like they're going to be at their lowest, and that's when they'll start their comeback. Again, they started off in AEW at the very start of it with Hangman Page in this closeness. And I can't help but feel like there is going to be some form of like self-loathing,
full
potential,
circle
changes
moment.
in personality that will come up. And a bit of humility will be shown from the Young Bucks before their redemption happens.
Yeah, I completely agree. After Cope explained his intention to put an end to FTR, Stokely Hathaway explained he would be fired if he got physically involved with Dax or Cash. Cope said, well, he didn't mention Stoke, did he? So he speared him. Tekla defeated Aminata, Statlander, and Willow to earn 100 grand. Timeless Tony Storm delivered a passionate victory speech that was interrupted by Athena and Billy Starks. The fallen goddess promised she was coming for the AW Women's World Championship. And Okada has a new theme. Curiosity by One OK Rock. But don't worry, because Okada is friends with them. So it's his choice, everybody. Calm down. But it looks like Monty Swerve might be next in line. And man, we are living good. Do you know what I mean? Swerve and Okada is just a match. I'll just like, yeah, give it me.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna mourn that old theme song. He ain't the rainmaker no more.
No.
Man, good time, good time. I don't blame him though. He had that song for like 13 years. I mean, I guess you got to move on at some point. But god damn, man. Anyway, yeah, him and Swerve will do fine. Whatever.
All right, fine. So we ended a positive note there. Jaxie, what were your thoughts on AEW? I mean, believe it or not, we've covered about 7 weeks of action and crammed it into a kind of nice little package here. But what are your overall thoughts as we end with All In, basically?
I think that AEW has reinvigorated a spark of interest for the whole across the whole promotion for me. I think they started out really slow at the beginning of the year in terms of picking up storyline and creativity and utilizing their talent. But as we've covered over the past 6 to 8 weeks now, they've slowly built this up and actually done well with they've paid. It's been a big payoff for them with the promotion that they've just put on. So I hope this continues going on into the next few pay-per-views going on later into the year as well. And just, kind of, I'm hoping and praying for future safety of wrestlers, injury-wise, health-wise, and everything like that. But so far, I'm quite excited, for the next night of AEW and what's to come,
Yeah, without a doubt. So that is it. Next time we're in AEW will be the Forbidden Door. Don't forget, we're across all social media, X at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNR Pod James. You can find the entire WNR team on the banner. Also now on Blue Sky, WNR Podcast, and Reddit. Monty, where can people find and follow you?
At my monthly pod on Twitter.
Jaxie?
On Twitch, X, and Instagram, sorry, at Jaxie Sky.
And Gina, what about you?
I'm on the same at Purple Pain.
And the WN also on Facebook and Instagram. Send us an email at WNRpodcast@gmail.com. And YouTube, well, we're celebrating 10 years of the WNR Podcast on there with all these short series and everything else that we've got going on. Of course, podcast go up on YouTube same time as you do SoundCloud on your phone. Also Spotify and iTunes, where you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. So that is it. Our next episode is NXT Update, which is Great American Bash Time, or as I like to call it, the Forgotten Show. Right, I've watched it and I just can't remember it, but that'll be fun for us next weekend, Monty. But in 2 weeks' time, we've got the SummerSlam live party, which has become a WNR podcast tradition. Until then, I've been James Jones and was joined by the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. And Jaxie, I know it's your first AEW win, but you have been on a roll with predictions recently.
I have. I hope this continues. I don't want this to go to my head. So I'll be going in with to each pay-per-view across all promotions strategically and trying to retain that across going forward.
Down. Speaking ahead to the mind of Monty as well. Monty, thank you for joining us today. I mean, you win some, you lose some.
Hey man, it's about time for somebody to do something around here, man. It's getting bored. Now I gotta actually start thinking before I predict. I ain't gotta worry about you though, James. You still lost, so as long as you suck, I'm at least taking solace in it.
Fuck you. Sorry, I saved my throat there, everybody. And of course, the genius of Gina. The G site's back. Come on, we can do this. We can beat Monty together.
We can do this for sure.
Don't say we,
No,
Gina.
I can
Don't
do
say
this.
we.
I can do this.
Kick that loser off your team, Gina.
No, I'm
Well, he
definitely excited to go into the next show and see if I can keep this winning streak going for sure.
Well, that is it. Thanks for listening, everybody, and bye.